Huh? Huh? Welcome down to KC Toy Reviews. We are here with the Hot Toys version of Mysterio. And I don't know any other way other than to let this out by going, woo! I'm excited for this one. Just to kind of give you a little insight on myself, I've been collecting for 10 years plus. Huge fan. The community, the groups, big supporter of everybody out there. And the reason I mention that is I live and breathe 1/6, and the past few days, if not week after I got this in from Sideshow, and I don't get it in as fast as the other places, blah, 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 I could barely sleep just thinking about kind of reviewing, taking pictures, and digging into this guy. I've been so excited, very excited, and haven't been able to get it off my mind, and it's actually smart for me to get this review out of the way. Hot Toys Mysterio, let's dig in, let's dive in. Super excited, here we go. It's been a long time since I've got a figure, pulled it out, and just kind of thought, wow, they have done a phenomenal job with this. I think we all know villains are more of a rarity nowadays, so the fact that we do actually have a villain on hands is also another piece that kind of adds to the excitement factor of this. So here we are, 1/6 Mysterio. I'm a big fan, so there might be some bias factors to my review here. I've been a fan of Mysterio since a kid, since the Spider-Man cartoon that I used to watch as a kid, so I was very excited to see that Far From Home was able to kind of pull him into a 21st century version of Mysterio. There's some incredible details. So if we want to look, the excitement as I say this is just wow. Look at how well they did on the details here. This figure knocks it out of the park. Typical kind of Spider-Man, or not Spider-Man, but I always like to say Superman suit material there, just a different pattern. Wouldn't necessarily keep the arms or anything in a constant pose like this. I guarantee it will damage it. But yeah, pretty cool material in the suit there. The other thing we're going to go ahead and point out is the cape. Wow, they did a fantastic job with the cape here. From the pattern, we have some wiring. We have a split down the back, if you can kind of see there. The material is this really beautiful felt purple material that reminds you of that magician feel, but again, all the patterns in between. Amazing with the cape, even the way it drapes over the shoulders and catches over here. I just can't stress enough, they've just done a phenomenal job. I'm just going to go ahead and get a couple of the accessories out of the way. We have the smoke screens here that you can kind of, put around his base. So we got some cool smoke screens. Similar to what I would compare as Doctor Strange, we have these pieces that you can hold and put on his hands, however you'd like to pose there. These are some pretty simple plastic. One thing I would like to note is that these smoke rings are actually a heavier solid plastic. I thought they did a really cool job. This one's in two pieces. You can kind of see a seam here, but yeah, they did a cool job with the smoke pieces at the bottom. I will most definitely be just displaying them with those smoke pieces. Not necessarily these, but yeah, it gives you some other options at least. All right, and one of the next very exciting pieces that I kind of wanted to show off. Yes, this lights up, and you can put all the batteries in. And forgive me, I don't do everything for all my reviews. But what I was excited about the helmet piece. Try to look through the phone if we can see here. Yeah, you can see there's actually 2 layers, right? So I was super excited to see this. Sorry about that. There's a layer here. We have the dome, kind of plastic overpiece. And then underneath, the best way to describe it is kind of like a 3D smoke printed material. And I would just focus on right on the edge here. You can kind of see it. There's a 3D printed smoke material underneath. I would personally say that I know that through all the pictures I saw prior to release, I would say that it was just going to be this, iridescent, smoke, purple, blue looking helmet. But I didn't know about the 2-layer that they would add underneath there, so they did a really cool job, and it was a pleasant surprise to see there that, wow, they did the fishbowl head some justice. That it does have some pivot, so you can actually kind of move the headpiece around, so I thought that was cool too. All right, so next up we have the controversial head sculpt. The reason I kind of worded it like that is I know prior to release, there was not much mention of a Quentin Beck head sculpt that was going to come out with this, so I think it was personally a surprise to me that more towards the actual release that Hot Toys announced this beautiful head sculpt that was going to be coming with it. And the reason, again, I say controversial is it's funny that prior to release, we want a head sculpt. When they announced that we want a head sculpt, everybody's bitching and moaning, oh, the head sculpt doesn't look like him. It looks like crap, blah, 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 blah. I personally look at this as a pure benefit. I would never have ordered this figure dependent on a Quentin Beck head sculpt. I would guess that 90% of the community is very favorable of that saying as well. I'm not sure who would say, hey, I'm not going to order Mysterio unless there was a Quentin Beck head sculpt in there. But hey, maybe there's somebody out there that feels that way. I'm not one of those individuals, so again, it was more of a bonus to me. The next thing we'll go ahead and say is, it's a decent head sculpt by Hot Toys for them to include this. So, everybody's complaining, oh, it doesn't look like him. It most certainly looks like Jake Gyllenhaal. You'd be crazy not to say that. I think if anybody posted this, we would all know, yes, that's Jake Gyllenhaal. Does it look identical to Quentin Beck from the movie? No, but it's a cool, good head sculpt they included. I'm going to go ahead and be blunt and say, who the hell is displaying this with just the Quentin Beck head sculpt versus this beautiful actual Mysterio head sculpt? Not me, probably not a lot of people out there. More power to you if you think it looks better with the Quentin Beck head sculpt. However, this amazing classic Mysterio brought to the 21st century head sculpt, fishbowl head sculpt, should I say, is the version that most, if not all of us, should be displaying. So think of this as a bonus. Oh, sorry about that. Think of this as a bonus head sculpt. Brrr! All right, so last closing comments. Give me about 20 to 30 seconds to go on a little rant here. Hot Toys, if you are listening, and dear God, you're probably not listening, but in my heart, I want you to be listening. Why are you including stands that only grab the waist of our figures? This thing is $280 with a cape, nonetheless. I didn't even think about that as I'm even talking. How the hell is the waist grabber going to grab the cape without me putting the whole cape around the pole in the back? Why are you only giving us the option of a waist grabber? Please, just give me a crotch grabber. I'm going to have to go and pay for an extra stand now because I don't want the waist grabber to take hold of this guy for the next 5 to 10 years. I love Mysterio. I want this in my collection forever. I'm not going to put it with a waist grabber. I want crotch grabber. All right, so in closing, pure closing, we've gotten the stand kind of review out of the way there. My rant, I'm done. I'll stop with the stand rant. In closing, we're going to go ahead and give this a review. Probably one of my favorite figures that I've seen in the past 2 to 3 years, Mysterio Hot Toys. 9.2 out of 10. I think longevity, creativity, artistically, quality, every single factor of this thing is absolutely stunning. I think it's going to stay in my collection for a very long time. I couldn't imagine very many improvements. And, as somebody, I just want to stress to give it a 9.2 out of 10. The reason we don't give it a 10 point or a 10 out of 10, that's saying it's the best figure of all time. We're not there yet. It's only a 9.2 out of 10. And a good time to kind of poke fun. A good example when Shang-Chi just came out. Everybody, it's a 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Shang-Chi was amazing, but it's not the best movie ever made. if you give it a 10 out of 10, you're saying it's the best movie ever made. It's not the best movie ever made. It was phenomenal. Just like this figure. It's not the best figure ever made, but it is phenomenal. 9.2 out of 10. Mysterio, Hot Toys. Get it now before it sells out. Signing out.
Huh?